Oi, Brasil.
How do you say it? Febrechi?
All right, I'll go. Are we doing it at the same time?
Hey, what's up? I'm Sabrina from Clouds.
Hi, everybody. I'm Finn Argus.
I'm Madison Iseman.
I'm Neve Campbell.
Hey, I'm Justin Baldone. I'm the director and the producer of Clouds.
And you're watching Febretin.
Febre Teen.
Febrechi.
You guys are the best. Every day. Every moment.
Ooh, I mean, there's a lot to choose from, but I think the first one that comes to mind is the climax scene where there was a performance of Clouds.
We shot it over 3 days. It was kind of like the last concert experience.
I couldn't believe how much I was able to maintain crying over those 3 days. Like, I thought after the first day in the atmosphere, you kind of like get used to it, and I couldn't. Each day was like harder and harder, even though we were shooting the same scene.
It was such a special moment, and I was crying tears of sadness, joy. I mean, I was feeling a little bit of everything.
So that was incredible and powerful.
I have had very few experiences like that in my entire life. It was very special.
There's also a scene in the movie when Laura is having to tell her youngest daughter to go say goodbye to her brother and try and stay strong in that moment. And that was a tough scene to shoot.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a little bit of like, by the way, Zach's entire family is in the last 2 rows, that we were sort of like, got it, no pressure, just perform as I would.
They were present for a lot of the filming, and I think I was nervous at first, like more so before we started filming, but once we got into the zone and we got into the process, having them present on set was, if anything, encouraging and gave me a sense of calm.
There's obviously that throughout the entire thing of wanting to make them proud, but the nice thing is that they were there so often throughout the duration of filming that we didn't feel like, oh, this is the day we gotta like be good, the parents are coming. Like it was a constant, we were so comfortable having them around, and we encouraged them to be there because it only helped us feel more connected to the story and our performances.
We watched it at the same time, right? And then we got on Zoom afterwards. So Justin Baldone, our director, shared the link with us. We all started it at the same time. Then we got onto Zoom afterwards and talked for the first time.
I was in my bedroom alone, which was the worst possible decision I've ever made, because I really wanted to watch it alone before I obviously was influenced or swayed by anyone else seeing it or just, watching it with anybody else.
I was in my living room. I remember having to pause it halfway through during Fix Me Up, which gets me every single time.
Go to the bathroom or cry?
Cry.
Oh, okay. I had to pause it. I had to be so bad.
I just needed to take a breather and let it sink in and take it in. It was so beautiful the first time I watched it. I almost kind of blacked out. I had to go back and watch it again.
As soon as I was done, and I literally just sobbing. I was like, what else is new? It was such an incredible moment to feel like what we made actually came to life. It wasn't something that I was disappointed or underwhelmed. As incredible as it felt while we were making it, as incredible as it felt while I was watching it.
And that was really emotional and wonderful. I think, we knew we were making something good, but you never know. Our biggest goal was to honor their story and have them be happy.
I did know Zach's story. I remember hearing Clouds when it was hitting #1 on iTunes back in 2013, and Zach's story was being covered by all the major news outlets, and my family and I were following along pretty closely. And over the years, I kind of forgot, and when I got this audition, it was this strange resurgence of memories and emotions, and I did feel a personal connection to it.
I personally did not. I was sent the script, and then I sort of went down the rabbit hole on YouTube and started watching all the different stuff on Zach and listening to his music, and then reading Laura's book about their journey, and that's when I jumped on board because I was, so inspired by them.
I was somewhat familiar with it, but it definitely all came back as soon as I watched Justin's documentary, and then read the script and heard the song again, and I knew exactly what it was from. So I'm very excited that everyone else is going to get a nice little refresher. Remember this, 2013. And
we eat Gushers in the movie too. What a 2013 kind of thing. There was a lot of little nods to the fact that it was literally that time.
I wore Sperry's. That just say 2013.
I wore the little hats that Sammy wears. Oh, that's so hard. Mine's probably Fix Me Up. I've always loved that song from the first second I heard it, and I was so excited to be able to do that with Finn, and every time we got to sing it, it was like, it got more and more fun.
Mine's a tie, probably between Fix Me Up, but also How to Go to Confession, which Sabrina sings so lovely. It's one of my favorite parts in the movie.
Well, before Zach passed away, after I made the documentary, I made Zach a promise, and I promised him that I would do whatever I could to make sure his story was amplified and that as many people around the world had a chance to hear his music and see his story. So after he passed away and his song blew up, I asked his mom if I could make her book into a movie. She said yes, and that was 5.5 years ago. And here we are, and I've done everything I can to keep my promise to Zach. Casting process was really hard because I'm friends with the real people. So in my mind, I had a hard time figuring out who could possibly play these people that I love. So I really leaned on the real family and asked them for help. So when I got close to figuring out who the people were, who the right actors were going to be, I showed the audition tape to the family, and the family helped me make the selection. I actually think the movies are very different. 5 Feet Apart wasn't a true story. 5 Feet Apart was inspired by my friend Claire, who told me about two people not being able to touch who both have cystic fibrosis, but it was a fictional story. Clouds is a real story. It's about a real person. And the most important difference is this is not a movie about cancer. It's not a movie just about a sick person or about someone who's dying. This is a movie about love and hope and positive choices and what can happen when you choose to live each day like you're dying.
I was just going to say to all those watching in Brazil, thank you so much for supporting our film. It would mean so much if you watched it, and I really think you'll enjoy it, especially in such a trying year. It sends a lot of love and a lot of unity and a lot of inspiration, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Brazil, obrigada, right? That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
Obrigada. You're the most supportive people in the entire planet, and we hope that this story gives you a big hug and you love it. And thank you for everything.
We hope it makes you cry as much as it made us cry, and just make you feel super grateful for everything that's in your life.
Thank you so much. Hopefully we can come to Brazil soon.
Look, I love Brazil. I've never been. I've always wanted to go visit Brazil. And Brazil's been so kind to me. You watched Jane the Virgin and you've been such supporters. You 5 Feet Apart did so well there. And I think that Brazil understands like the types of movies I want to make. You're passionate people and you know how to live, you know how to eat, you know how to dance, you know how to seize the moment. You know what I mean? And that's what these movies are inherently about. And I just really hope that this movie touches you and inspires you and reminds you that you don't have to find out you're dying to start living.